And welcome back, or welcome to the whatever week this is of the Armenian Sim Racing Super Shooters Championship, featuring the Ford Mustang Cup and the Camaro ZL1 Invitational Class 2 class. We have made it to qualifying, and surprisingly a Mustang has spun around. You got young West Australian Kurt Stenberg out there, trying to vie for pole position in his underpowered motor vehicle. Should be a pretty tough round for the Camaros, but it does see the series move to the circuit, which for some reason the drivers don't seem to like, because there's not too many drivers out there this weekend. So at least it should give the Camaro drivers some point of reference as to where they are horsepower-wise, but also give them a chance to be semi-competitive, given that there's only, I believe, 11 pixelated motor vehicles on the circuit. So young Kurt Stenberg from Western Australia, only half a tenth away in the first split here. As you can see, all the Camaros ZL1s now sporting updated banners to show their updated class status. And just a tenth of a second or so away from the outright pole position. We did see some 1:01 7s in the in the practice session not far gone. And Stenberg to the line, in fact, making up those 2/10 in the final sector to put it on provisional pole position with 5.5 minutes remaining. And so it looks like the that KFC wannabe car has had a moment. The young Zach Brown out there. Good to see him back. Very frustrated from all accounts this evening with the handling of his Camaro. He's sporting, it's not going to be seen on the broadcast, but he is sporting, I guess, a new logo and emblem that his design team have come up for him, to Zachy Brown Racing. And, well, we'll see how long he lasts driving these automobiles for. As you can see, struggling mightily on the rear tyre, spinning them up so much that it produced smoke, which is very rare. So he's having a crack, but he's struggling out there. As you can see, all kinds of sideways. Those rear tyres are melted. And he's wide, and he's going into the pit lane at speed and into the tyres at a moderate speed. It's still position number 6, although I do feel that there'll be a number of drivers that will improve their lap times here. And, oh, look out, we've actually got a 12th and 13th driver out there. Looks like Angus Brown has taken up a car, and Phil Boak is a late entrant here in his regular automobile. But it is Stenberg leading the way against those other cars, with Britton Foley now jumping up to position 6 on a 109.392 in the Class 2 mobiles. He's up on his own time here. Actually got the exact same time as young Zachariah Brown. It's somehow ahead, so I'm going to assume that at the millisecond level it is slightly ahead. As in real life, generally, the driver that set the time first is the driver that stays ahead. But Automobilista be Automobilista. So we're just waiting really for something to happen here. Stenberg is up on his own time. I imagine this car wannabe KFC livery. No, not going to improve. Oh, well off. I guess we'll go back. I've gone the wrong way there to Stenberg, who loses time in the final sector. So track maybe pulling away from the drivers, it seems. Perhaps. Oh, and Egmanis is in the gravel and beached. Probably be better off just pressing escape at this point. And Foley locking up the rears on the way in to turn 4. Now to turn 5 now, 1/10 away from his personal best. Seems the drivers here struggling mightily for traction and rear brake performance here. It does improve his own time, so he found time again. So good final sector for the Ginger Ninja Brenton Foley. And Daniel Cox finding 2/10 there, which jumps him just ahead of Zachariah Brown, who will be starting his final lap here. So very slow on that last lap. Again, I don't know if it was exactly wise for him to continue on what was clearly a poor lap the previous lap, being 10 seconds off and wearing the tyres out, but here we go. What can the young Zach Brown do? He's up 2/10 on his own time. A little bit deep there to turn 3. But not too bad so far. We'll jump up to P6 if you can hold that margin for the remainder of the lap here. Young Zach Brown sliding. He's lost a little bit of time, half a tenth, but again, if he does maintain that margin, he'll jump up to P6 ahead of Brenton Foley for second in Class 2. You can see losing time visually to the Mustang in front, and Brown to the line, and he does improve, but not enough. And in fact, it will be Daniel Cox who, at the death, jumped Brenton Foley to be second in class with ZL1 Camaros. I do believe there was meant to be another big brain racing car out there, but it seems to have disappeared. So no Brendon Ross this evening, by the look of it. That is it. Kurt Stenberg will claim another pole position. The young West Australian will be happy with that one. Not only class leader, but somehow ahead of the Mustangs again. Just in the default racing suit there for Mr. Stenberg. So this will be the car that will start from pole position in race number 1 here this evening. I should probably go over this evening's activities. So just bear with me one moment. So there's a 50-lap race and a 25-lap race. So the 50-lap race, there is a compulsory pit stop for at least 2 tyres in this first one. So race 1 is the 50-lap race, and then race 2 is a 25-lap race with no CBS, which 25 laps, even around Queensland Raceway, seems a bit long for a sprint race. But, yeah. Anyway, that's just people for you. Just to go over, I guess, the briefing notes. That line there is a bit controversial. The right side has to be on the racing surface. The right side cannot touch the yellow painted line up until the brake line up there. Well, at least if I'm reading this correctly. But yeah, that's that. So, with us being in the warm-up, we'll make some cash, and we'll be right back.
An important pit stop for Scaife now, pulling in to refuel. Oh, but watch this! Ambrose has blocked him on the inside. Scaife now left with no option but to let him pass.
To be number one these days, you have to go to the extreme. KFC's Extreme Zinger Meal. Start with a whole fillet Zinger burger, then top it with a piece of chicken, chips, potato and gravy, and a Pepsi.
That's the last time I let you in, mate.
KFC's Extreme Zinger Meal.
We're here to see whether the new sporty Falcon SR will go as fast as the Falcon V8 supercar. With over $6,000 of extra value, including 17-inch alloys, automatic transmission with sequential sports shift, sports body kit, 6-stack CD, designer sports trim, leather-wrapped steering wheel, and cruise control, it's sure to do well. New Falcon SR. With over $6,000 of extra value, it'll go quick. Can't get enough of this.
When Ford versus Holden, Mount Panorama erupts with the FAI 1000 at Bathurst, November 11 to 14. Nothing shakes the mountain like V8 supercars. Phone Ticketmaster today.
It's a big ad, very big ad. It's a big ad, it's a big ad. My God, it's big. Can't believe how big it is. It's a big ad. Don't count and count. It's just so freaking good. It's a big ad. Expensive ad. This ad better sell some money.
I'm a control freak. That's why I drive a Commodore. One of the reasons for the control I get in this Commodore, you can get in every Commodore. It's rear-wheel drive. In my opinion, it gives the driver a genuine feel for the road and, therefore, more control. A large car, built for Australian conditions, like Commodore, just has to be rear-wheel drive.
G'day, Murph. What'll it be?
Just the usual, thanks.
Try Murph's Meat Lovers Burger from BK. Double beef, bacon, cheese, tasty pepperoni and barbecue sauce.
Now that's what I call a burger.
Burger King. It just tastes better.
A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer, and no one deserves it more than David Booth.
Yes, he didn't get that rock-hard guts from playing hacky sack. He got it from smashing boundaries. No high fives or jumping round when Booney made a ton. Just a tweak of the box and it's back to business. We want Booney for Prime Minister, or stuffed and put on display next to Farlap, with the word Booney engraved on the glass, and a big cold beer in his glove. And the best cold beer is Vic.
We're here in Melbourne to relive a classic footy moment that has it all.
And who else could give us all this?
Who else but the maestro? Hey, James Hurd.
Hey, guys.
All right, so it's Essendon 131, West Coast 131. 30 minutes and 48 seconds gone.
Umpire has a ball up and it's on.
He's got it.
Hey, maybe Murphy should have kicked out. Not the umpire, I'm bully. Bully gets it out to Hurd. Hurd. Wait, the fairy tale's complete. James Hurd, you are a champion. Yes. Give it a hug. James Hurd, you're
I told you before, I'm a control freak, so I'd never put myself in a situation I couldn't control. That's why I love the new VX Commodore with anti-lock braking system, standard across the whole range. ABS helps prevent your brakes from locking, which gives you more steering control in dangerous situations. Commodore with ABS standard. Drive on.
Introducing a revolutionary new Toyota. A car with a V10 engine, a 7-speed gearbox, and a top speed of over 360 kilometres per hour. A car that comes with a champagne lifestyle and a supermodel girlfriend as standard. The new Toyota TF103. See it in action throughout 2003.
All right, and well, that's the end of that advertisement. The warm-up is approaching its conclusion, and young Brendan Ross has arrived in car number 53 in the Class 5 mobile. Does have Class 2 on it, but he is indeed actually Class number 5. So we did have some big news in the week regarding some breaking news regarding young West Australian Kurt Stenberg for Anti-Coal Auto Sports number 47. Is that he, as well as some fellow other teams, have signed on to become a part of the Chevrolet United Motorsports banner. With the initials CUM. CUM is a new initiative inspired by real-life supercars to ensure competitiveness of the Division 2 drivers within the Armenian Sim Racing Super Shitters Championship. And this will help to ensure we continue to fight the oppression of our chosen manufacturer. There is nothing like CUM to bring people together. End quote. So looks like the warm-up has been restarted with that startling revelation and news. But yes, we now wait and wait. Seeing in the chat there, Rossi 50 laps. Clearly not happy with the race length for race number 1, and I'll be honest, I actually agree. So very many laps, very little drivers, and I'm sure there's going to be very little racing after a short while. Generally, Queensland Raceway in the history of the Argentinian Sim Racing Championship has actually been one of the generally the more better attended events on the calendar, but clearly not this season. This is some of the lowest numbers that I personally have seen in the main championship, actually, ever, if I'm being perfectly frank with you. This is not even 2018 levels, because 2018 levels actually started quite strong. So very low numbers, which is very disappointing. But again, there's been a lot of complaints regarding the parity between the two classes. and the clear disadvantages that the Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 has compared to the Ford Mustang. So there'll be plenty of that discussion, I'm sure, going forward, as well as I think both drivers for the majority of the teams are actually quite unhappy with the tyres situation and how they perform. So I'm not exactly sure when this warm-up session is going to conclude. If it would be run out or not. So I will distract myself while having the screen still displaying what's going on. I'm not sure if you could hear in the background, but the Australian Football League broadcast between the Richmond Tigers and the Essendon Bombers at the MCG in what has been dubbed Dream Time at the G. Where Richmond, with just under 18 minutes remaining in the second quarter, lead 5-5-35 to Essendon's 2-2-14. So the Bombers are living up to their name and bombing hard. I would be watching the start of the St Kilda and Fremantle match, but they're going through some pre-match ceremonies which are taking far too long. So I'll close that, and with 2.5 minutes remaining in this warm-up session, in hopefully the only other warm-up session we have, with no more restarts, we look at the Nathan Higgin, Tony Engie pause Ford Mustang, as well as Brenton Foley in his Class 2 automobile. And as you can see, his car does not feature, or his car features the NGK headlights. His teammate doesn't, because the broadcaster, aka myself, forgot to update the headlight package for the Philip Boak car to have its headlights, as you can see there on the screen, so it's just blank. But I'm doing something that the series organisers should have done prior to round one. It's the same with the Big Brain Racing Chevrolet Camaro ZL1, sponsored by Auto Fiction, Hamas, Whoa, and of course Ultimate Unleaded 99 Octane. So see Brendan Ross clearly not happy with his automobile, and doing some lawn mowing, and now doing some skid locks out there. And with this car you can see that the headlights have actually been updated, which is actually nice and adds an extra element to the class, to the car and livery, I should say. So Higgin Tony's practicing a race start, and Brenton Foley is out there just counting some laps at the moment, getting some additional practice in. Must have picked up a track infringement because it didn't give him a lap time. So Daniel Cox now approaching his second time lap, a 1 minute 10.532. But I guess while we wait for whatever the hell's happening, should remind people that Queensland Raceway has a lake. And if I'm honest, I do hope that a few of the Ford Mustangs end up in here, preferably upside down, with other Ford Mustangs joining it, just to make the series a little bit more, at least, entertaining and perhaps competitive. So we are hoping, as we look at our drone cam here, that a couple of the Ford Mustangs end up in this little lake, or dam, I guess you could also call it. So, as you can see, not a capacity crowd here at Queensland Raceway. In Ipswich, there's plenty of spots for you to just mill around and watch some rather mediocre, non-parody pixelated series here. Got some techno. Got the techno truck there. DJ BJ, I'm sure, going off. And plenty of standing room down there on the back straight as Philip Boak goes through the final turn to conclude this warm-up session in what we hope is the final warm-up session prior to race 1 getting underway, which of course is 50 laps, and that's probably about 30 laps too many, but we're about to go racing here. Well, it actually indeed has made it. Incredible. Well, with that, alright, one moment here. I've just got to sync everything up once again. And it will be the young West Australian Kurt Stenberg who will be leading the way for the big come Anti-Coal Autosports number 47. Then some cars. And then we have Daniel Cox, the privateer. He'll be starting 7th overall, but more importantly, 2nd in Class 2. 3rd in class, we have Brenton Foley for PBF Race Engineering 074, sponsored by Red Bull, Ampol and Penrite. Behind him, we have Zach Brown for Big Brain Racing Ultimate number 2, sponsored by Autofiction. We then have Stephen Warwick, the young battler from Sydney, racing for SAW Racing by PBF in the number 63. Starting from 13th, Philip Boak for PBF Race Engineering in the number 46. Rounding up the field, young Queenslander Brendan Ross for Big Brain Racing Ultimate in the number 53, filling in for Lachlan Burke, last seen in a mine in Western Australia. And we do have another car on the grid, but it doesn't count. Well, we're waiting for someone there on the grid. The lights are on. And away they go. It looks like a decent start for Kurt Stenberg. Those two cars behind trying to bump draft their way through, but it will be the youngest Australian who will be taking the chicken home, the Kingsley's chicken, with the Kingsley's chicken whole shot. And then we've got not much action going on, but Brenton Foley here, he's got a run on Nathan Higgintoney. Now, will we go bowling is the question down here. Higgintoney's having a look. He's up the inside of one of these cars in front of him. And he actually gets the job done there without wiping someone out. That's a first. I'm pretty sure if that was Brendan Ross or Lewis Wedding out there in a pixelated car, or a BBR car, that he certainly would have wiped it out. And looks like there's some battling for the overall lead here. But Stenberg holding firm. In the Cummobile. So Stenberg holding firm in P1. Higgintoney looking for a move up the inside of one of the cars. There goes a mirror cap somewhere off into the void. And Brenton Foley watching on. Be looking for the big toe. Will they go 3 wide here? They won't. He's going to try the outside here at turn 3. And he's almost made it, but not quite. He's been just nudged out of the way. Deep on the brake was that car, that green and black car. He's racing that white and blue one in front. Egmanis. Well, maybe a little bit of contact there with Egmanis. And getting him right out sideways, but Foley now getting himself ahead of Locke. And Cox looking for his big break. Hasn't had the most ideal start. Dropped a spot, and he's almost dropped 2 there. Big move. Did a big energy from Zach Brown. Attempting the big energy pass of the day. They're going to go side by side here into turn 1. And, well, Zachariah Brown just having a crack here. These two costing each other time compared to the group in front here with this aggressive racing wheel. Speaking of, we've got aggressive racing for the front. And West Australian Kurt Stenberg looking to hold on here. Of course, slipstream does appear to be quite strong in these cars. And I believe an early retirement for Scott Morrell. So let's go back and have a look and see how he's managed that. Dink! So that'll be a internet issue. But Stenberg leads the way. And these two battling is actually bringing Otara into play. Higgintoney there in 4th place. Now, supposedly he had a decent night in the development series last week at this very venue, and seems to be doing okay so far. He's got himself ahead of Egmanis as Foley and Locke continue to battle. And then we've got big battle for 3rd in class, and Boat got himself up there, but he's dropped away after running wide there at turn 2, and Warwick's now got himself up into 10th. And the big battle between Cox and Brown has seen Brenton Foley, who was previously just ahead of that car in front, has dropped behind it now. But Cox will be looking to try and drive away and make time on the cars in front here. Not going to be able to do that though with the battling going on with himself and Zachariah Brown. So, well, 108.6, that's Stenberg's fastest lap, so he may be tyre limited here. Of course, carrying that extra weight having that less downforce does not help at this circuit. And going defensive here into turn 3. Very difficult to pass around the outside. And as we've seen from young Stenberg, he's very willing to escort drivers who do attempt to pass around the outside into the boonies in a legal way. But Stenberg continues to lead here somehow, as Higantoni make a slight mistake there. It's a turn number 4. And sliding on the way out of turn 5, Egmani's trying to take advantage. And it looks like Brenton Foley has just fallen away from this pack. They're just struggling at the moment. Now, of course, there is a compulsory pit stop in this race, where the drivers must change a minimum of 2 tyres. So down in Super 5, Brendan Ross, he's well down. Looks like he's 10 seconds from the back of the pack. I don't know if he's had a spin, or he may have. He looks like he's struggling out there. Let's have a look at this lap time. 1 minute 10.9. So he's not having a good time. Clearly he wants to be in Super 6, but the series officials will not allow him, despite the massive struggles that he's been having in this class. As Stenberg holding on for dear life at the moment. A valiant effort in the Chevrolet to lead the way. One feels it's just a matter of time before he probably surrender the lead here, but he's doing his utmost. I do feel though that here at turn 2 that there may be contact at some point should the battle continue for a number of laps, or more laps. As the car behind, the budget wannabe KFC / Red Rooster livery Mustang does seem to get a decent run out of turn 1 compared to the young West Australian Kurt Stenberg for Anti-Coal Autosports number 47. Oh, and it looks like we've got the battle here for 4th place is quite exciting here, and Higantoni's held it here, so a move was made. Higantoni predictably outbroke himself. Unpredictably didn't run into somebody for once by doing so. And then into turn 3. And then again was able to go side by side for 1.5 corners before making contact with someone. That'd be a record for young Higantoni, and with all this battling is actually bringing Brenton Foley back into play. And the battle between Zachariah Brown and Daniel Cox still continues to simmer. But looks like Cox just a little bit quicker, and the slipstream's just keeping Zachariah Brown in play as this battle continues to rage, and looks like a battle for the lead here as well. Oh, and Stenberg looking for an over and under here. He's going to have to go the long way here in the final turn. He's gonna try it here, and a little bit of a nudge there in the mid. Now we'll cut to a replay and just see how this manoeuvre managed itself. Side by side, and Stenberg actually leaving space, which is quite respectful. Now side by side through the remainder of the lap here, so probably one last opportunity for Stenberg to regain the lead here. But doesn't look like he's going to be able to manage. A little bit of a slide though, the car in front. He's just got to stay in that toe, and there's also another little minor error there from the car in front. Oh, but that little slide there is going to hurt him. The slipstream is his friend here. He's got to stay in it for as long as he can. Edge his way closer. Got yellows out here in the final sector here. And, oh, Brendan Ross has driven into the garage here. Looks like he's had enough. And, looks like he's just gone and, yeah, parked it up. So, he's done. Looks like he is done. The fastest lap of the race in the last lap was by actually Tara. And there's a couple mistakes from Devonish allowed Tara with the slipstream that he's receiving from Stenberg to set the fastest lap. Oh, and we cut back to the battle here for 4th place, and looks like Tony's rear tyres are gone. Let's have a look here. He's just gone deep. Oh, he's on the marbles as well, which doesn't help. So this is an intriguing battle here. Bretton Foley has got himself right in that battle as well now. Oh, Tony's very deep under brakes. A little bit of compression lock, and lock gives him space in front. Which is weird, as that normally just turns down on people. But left Tony the space. Tony deep into turn 1. He's going to run wide here, and that's going to invite the 2 cars behind in Egmanis and Foley to have a look. Not at turn 2, but certainly at turn 3 down here. As we're getting official confirmation that Brendan Ross, young Brendan Ross in Super 6 or Super 5, who wants to be in Super 6, has pulled up stumps and retired. And it looks like Stenberg has dropped out of that slipstream range here, and now falling into the clutches of the car behind, which is a shame and rather disappointing. But Bretton Foley, heroic effort here in position 7, pushing hard. And, just seeing here in the comments that we don't need developing in all caps. Well, clearly the driver that was 10 seconds off the back of the pack of numerous Super 2 drivers clearly doesn't need developing according to some. Easy to say when you're out front with a hyperdoc and the only thing that you do outside of work is practice in sim racing for this specific series, but you do you, bruh. But we may hear, I am hearing grumblings and rumblings that an old favourite Italian may make an appearance in the development series. But we shall wait on that announcement. But Foley here, as you can see, just stuck behind these Mustangs. This doesn't quite have the top speed. A little bit heavier, of course, too. And quite a bit less downforce overall. You can see it just ploughing at turn 1 there. Yeah, ploughing again at turn number 2. No, he's got no left front here. As Bretton Foley. Looks like Daniel Cox behind. He's third in class 2. He's actually broken away from young Zachariah Brown. Also, just we see another swap of position between position 4 and 5. But Taraka perhaps has had some kind of issue and drama because he's 3 seconds behind Stenberg, who of course the two were battling. Oops, so here's the mistake. Yeah, just slightly worn rear tyres and completely forgot there's a corner there. So tyres now starting to become a bit of an issue, it seems, for a number of these runners. You could see with when we were on board Mr. Foley, he was struggling to get through turn 1 and 2, and again struggling. And Zach Brown struggling, and he's hit the wall there. Young Zachariah Brown. We may only see him from the one race this evening. There was another one that on a race-by-race deal. Not with the team, but with the series. Due to the parity of the classes. And when it's not enjoyable, he's just going to park it up. At 9.2 for Stenberg, 9.3 for Tara, so they're about 9 tenths or so away from their fastest. Locker 9.2, so he's actually quite handy on that lap. Of course, he's well a ways from those guys now. Looks like he's a double apexing turn 2. Carrying speed in. Pulling away in the middle and then getting on the power on the exit. But I still can't believe we're only 15 laps in. There's a long way to go here. 10 laps from half distance. And yeah, if this battle pack falls away, I can only imagine just how dull this race is going to end up being. And half time at the MCG, it is 49. The Richmond Tigers 49 to 34 for the Essendon Bombers. St Kilda Saints early on, or not early on, it's 3 minutes to go in the first term. St Kilda and Fremantle are tied at 13 in a low scoring affair. Hashtag Go Saints. As Tony all kinds of sideways there. Predictably, his rear tyres falling away, but none of the drivers around him able to capitalise. Foley, unsurprisingly, in his Class 2 car, falling away, and Liam Henry has scored a goal against his former side to put St Kilda in front, 19 to 13. So, comedy of errors as a free mark for the Fremantle player, but just jumped straight into his teammate's back and dropped the mark. It was then crumbed by Liam Henry. And he after a tackle, and he smartly put it through, not socketed it through, but scrubbed it across the ground, a little daisy cutter. And he gave himself a double fist pump in celebration, and in typical modern football style, straight to the pine. But at the front, it's the budget bin chicken. And then we have the actual chicken, the Kingsley's chicken, Abil. 1088, so he's getting closer to his personal best. So the fuel's starting to wear out, or wear off, I should say, for young West Australian Stenberg. But They're still 2.4 seconds away from the overall lead. 4.4 seconds away from Noatara, who's starting to fall away. Pardon me, from both the front two. And Brenton Foley poor on that last lap. I don't know if it was a mistake or not. I wasn't paying attention. But he's now got Daniel Cox right behind him for second place in class here. And these two are now 5 seconds behind the battle for fourth place overall. And Zach Brown finds himself in position 9. He's 3.8 seconds away from Cox. And, oh well, a cheap free kick for Fremantle in Perth. What a surprise. Given away by Callum Wilkie, supposedly. But we know the AFL do want to get one of their franchises that hasn't won a premiership over the line this year. And they know it's not going to be GWS because they're hashtag done. And, well, Gold Coast looks like they're going to piss away their opportunity at a premiership as well. But Steve Warwick is doing a solid job there in P10. He's got a couple Mustangs behind him. Philip Oak in 13th, and then we have the two retirements, of course. So, plenty of grappling between Patrick Voss and Callum Wilkie. It's a soft free kick, but it was actually there, unfortunately. And if we put both arms around a player, generally they give it, regardless of how soft it is, or even if it just looks like there's two hands around. But St Kilda, they've won it out of the midfield, they've kicked it forward, but it's too deep, is it? No, it's Mason Wood, he's marked it at the edge of the goal square. He's played on, and he kicks the goal, and St Kilda are back in front. It's the most entertaining thing that's happened this race. Mason Wood kicks the goal after St Kilda were able to get the centre clearance. After the ball come to ground, it was handballed out, then a long kick forward. It looked like the Fremantle player was going to get there, but Mason Wood, coming in from the front, was able to take the grab, played on, kicked it straight through. But Stenberg battling away. He's pulling away from Tara. Tara looks like he's going to have a relatively lonely race. The only battle I think is going to be between Locke and Higgins-Honey Mobiles. Oh, and Sinclair is kicked it forward again. But it's... oh, no, it's dropped. Ball comes forward. No, it should be cleared by Fremantle. And that'll be quarter time here at Optus Stadium. So Higgins-Honey looks like he's preparing for a pit stop. We've also seen Curtis Egmanis. He's actually dropped out of that pack. Oh, and there's a bit of biff here at Optus Stadium. I don't know why the old Fremantle boys are getting all riled up. I mean, they might be 9-1, but they have a horrific record against St Kilda for some reason, even though they've been generally better than them for the best part of the last 15 years. Oh, and Brent Foley's run wide. He's on the grass there. And Daniel Cox moves up to second place in Class 2. As we get another fucking Scott Pendlebury promotion. We didn't get any of this for Boomer Harvey. Someone who was an actual champion at the game. Not just a little sheepdog out the back in Scott Pendlebury. But just remember, guys, how he's going to remind you 15,000 times that he comes from a basketball background. He too could have made the NBA. Well, maybe he should have gone to the NBA because you'd earn a significant more than being a top-level AFL footballer. But Anyway, 433 games later. But Kurt Stenberg pushing hard here, bouncing over the curbs, very aggressive. Unfortunately falling away from the overall lead. Still heroic effort in the Chevrolet Camaro. Heroic effort as we slowly approach halfway point of this race. Yeah, 9.2 and 8.8 for Tara. So not good on that last lap. Looks like the pit crew for Sideways Esports have disappeared, but they might be back now as the big spin out of the final turn. Pirouette for Higantoni, and that will allow Egmanis to get back by and give breathing room to that other car there. And Daniel Cox on the prowl. The majority of the Mustangs within the pit straight of each other in this rather dull event. Yeah, so I'm getting calls to switch it to the AFL, but unfortunately I'll get copyright struck, and not that I care about the monetization, but it also gives a black screen because OBS are cucks and you know, won't allow people to stream on their KO, which is quite lame. But we've got the first of our pit stoppers. So Kurt Stenberg looking to get some chicken, some Kingsley's chicken, and to probably undercut as well. I imagine the leader will probably pit. It might even go long just to offset what Stenberg is doing. I think Tony, unsurprisingly, into the pit lane, and Zach Brown 2, entering the pits as well. So not quite halfway, but just 1 lap short, or 2 laps short. But a number of the drivers out there feeling the need to put some freshies on. So that elevates a number of the drivers out there. And well, a good run so far for Daniel Cox here. He's actually 3.2 seconds away from Egmanis and 9.4 away from Locke. Decent race pace, but he's going to need a little bit of help to get himself towards the podium. But we'll just go around the grounds here. So we've got the Bulldogs versus the Storm, and it's the Stormies. They're back. The Storm are back. They are up 18-12 early in the second half here. So the Storm are going to win their remaining games and then lose the grand final again, because it's just the Melbourne Storm way. But yeah, we do hope they can actually get over the line in the big one this year, somehow make it, and we can see him, Craig Bellamy, lift the cup one final time before he most likely retires due to the unfortunate health issues that he is suffering. Halfway, we've got a number of cars here. We've got the budget Kentucky Fried Chicken Mobile and that other lime and black thing in the pit lane here. Whereas the young person, Kurt Stenberg, is well away from the lead here. My niece has moved into second, and Cox is into third place, so great effort from him. And for Bretton Foley, There's the gap between the KFC budget and Real Chicken Kingsley's is still rather substantial, and the positions have not changed. So we move ahead, and looks like a number of drivers are going along here. But one driver that isn't is Daniel Cox, who's just gone over half distance, as well as Brenton Foley have both gone just over half distance, and are electing to make their compulsory pit stops. And surprisingly for the Bombers, they've once again selected Jade Gresham. I don't know why, I don't know how, but he keeps getting a game for the Essendon Bombers, despite really doing nothing, which is why St Kilda even got rid of him. Philip Boak, I believe, is another one that is also yet to pit. He was running down the field, but finds himself in P6. And we're right on board the Melburnian. Oh, St Kilda kick it deep into forward 50. And it's a free kick for Caminiti, is it? No, a free kick against. Yep, typical umpires. They dropped their sponsorship deal with OPSM, which clearly they need because they're very blind. They probably need a pick up a sponsorship with a company that makes eye patches with how one-eyed they are towards a certain team. That team, clearly the Fremantle Dockers. But Kurt Stenberg, 4.4 seconds away, 4.5 seconds away from the net lead here. As the driver enters the pit lane at Tizek Manis, and it looks like 046 is pitted and retired. Now, I don't know if there was possible. It may have made a boo-boo here. It sounded like there was no engine noise. Is it run out of fuel just short, or blown an engine? Or is it just escape? That sounds like there's some kind of other issues there. Oh, no, there's no revs here. Don't tell me. I don't know if that's engine or not. It may have been. It could have also been fuel. That's something we'll find out later. And Zachariah Brown is another non-finish. So I wonder what's happened there to Zachariah. I don't know how long ago it was, but we'll go back and find it because nothing's happening in this race. There's a Philippou who looks forward, kicks into forward 50. It's knocked forward, and Bradley Hill, no, Bradley Hill won't get there. But he almost got there. Oh, big accident there. So two cars leaving the pit lane. And he was deep under oh no. And nowhere to go but the wall, and there goes the wheel. Oh my days, that may have killed a spectator. Yeah, that's rolled up the hill. That's wiped out a number of spectators. RIP. Actually, no. If you're a spectator and you're here, why are you here? Why are you watching this? Why did you pay money? Why? To watch this? There's what, 13 cars? There's 2 different classes even? Why would you watch this? Why would you pay money for this? These people are idiots. They deserve to get hit by that wheel. Anyway, Mac Brown is out, as is Phil Boat. With the only relative battle on track is between Higgin Tony and another car, and Bretton Foley and Daniel Cox, who somehow ended up behind Foley. I guess we did see Cox go longer, and Foley did do a little undercut. Oh, that's great attack on the ball by Darcy Wilson. His handball forward to Cooper Sharman. Or to Philip Boone, he's kicked a goal. The poo, he's done it. The goal umpire does not look happy to give that goal, but fuck him. Fuck West Australia and Fremantle Dockers and the umpires. Ross Lyon, once again, against his old club, produced a game plan that's leading to the Fremantle Dockers struggling. And for once, Philippou actually kicking straight. So, great hunt from a number of players. Handball out from Wilson. 45 metres out, 45-degree angle on the run with the left foot. Philippou, thank you very much. 5-2-32 plays 3-1-19 at Optus Stadium. As Daniel Cox chasing after Bretton Foley. He will have slightly better tyre offset. Another new favourite word in motorsport for a lot of commentators, pundits, and of course team personnel alike. Oh, I thought it was going to be a 50-metre penalty there for Fremantle, but umpire didn't give it for once. Thank God. And got the Angie Paws livery. Nathan Higgintoney keeping up with the car in front. And from the same angle, slightly further out, the Fremantle player has kicked a goal. Jai Amos. There's got some battling going on. Higgintoney looking for a move there, turn 3. Actually very good under braking there, made up a significant amount of time. Going to try it again here. It's turn 4. So what we're after here is essentially we would like to see Higgintoney make a big move, wipe himself as well as the car in front out to a point where it causes a safety car and it makes the race a little bit interesting. 9-7 plays 10-1. That's well off the pace of any of the front runners. And that's a high tackle. He had his arm around his neck, but it's Fremantle, so it's okay. Oh, a bit of contact there. Higgintoney trying to move into turn 2, and that move wasn't on. But they're going to go side by side down the max straight here. As Philippou gets it out, handballs it out to Henry. He tries to handball it forward to Darcy Wilson. It's intercepted by a Fremantle player, and they're going to get the clearance, I imagine, of this. But Higginson now, once again, going to try the outside, because all that the car in front is doing is just parking it on the inside. He's going to try the outside. He's broken later. He's got his nose in front. This next corner is going to be tricky, and he's done it. Oh. He didn't run into somebody under brake and got the move done. Tried spinning it on the exit. But gets himself up into 4th place. Woo! And Egmanis is about 4 seconds away from that battle. But Locke not able to withstand the pressure, which is understandable. You don't really want to have Higgintoney behind you because he has a long rap sheet of incidents wiping out the car in front, whether he's attempting a pass or just simply just driving the circuit on his own. Oh, and Henry's dropped the mark there that he should have taken, and then produce a solid tackle there to produce a ball up. About 70 metres from St Kilda's goal. Tick and Tony, 4th place now. At the moment, just edging away from the car behind. Brenton Foley actually produced a bit of a gap over Cox now, so something has happened to Cox over the last couple of laps here. So again, that gap wasn't that big not too long ago, so one would suggest he's gone for a bit of an adventure. Oh look, and it's a free kick to a Fremantle player. What a surprise! And Jai Amos getting the cheapie. God forbid that a St Kilda player made contact. No, he just simply dropped the mark, and the contact with the arm was after he'd already dropped it, but you know. Oh, and there we go, there's the spin. So turn number 2 here. Comes in, his compression locked it a little bit, so the rear tyres are a little hot. His rear left is not the most ideal temp at that point, and around it goes. So we're only on lap 35 here. When the hell is this race going to end? Jesus Christ, there is nothing going on out here. Queensland Raceway, the perfect race circuit if you're doing races 15 to 20 laps. And just imagine that they raced enduros around here. In fact, this is so boring. We've got to make some cash. We'll be right back.
Important pit stop for Scaife now, pulling into refuel. Oh, but watch this! Ambrose has blocked him on the inside. Scaife now left with no option but to let him pass.
To be number 1 these days, you have to go to the extreme. KFC's Extreme Zinger Meal. Start with a whole fillet zinger burger, then top it with a piece of chicken, chips, potato and gravy, and a Pepsi.
That's the last time I let you in, mate.
KFC's Extreme Zinger Meal.
We're here to see whether the new sporty Falcon SR will go as fast as the Falcon V8 supercar. With over $6,000 of extra value, including 17-inch alloys, automatic transmission with sequential sport shift, sports body kit, 6-stack CD, designer sports trim, leather-wrapped steering wheel, and cruise control, it's sure to do well. New Falcon SR, with over $6,000 of extra value, it'll go quick. Can't get enough of this.
When Ford versus Holden, Mount Panorama erupts with the FAI 1000 at Bathurst, November 11 to 14. Nothing shakes the mountain like V8 supercars. Phone Ticketmaster today.
It's a big ad, very big ad. It's a big ad we're in. It's a big ad. My God, it's big. Can't believe how big it is. It's a big ad. For crowds and crowds. It's just so freaking good. It's a big ad. Expensive ad. This ad better sell some bloody
I'm a control freak.
That's why I drive a Commodore. One of the reasons for the control I get in this Commodore, you can get in every Commodore. It's rear-wheel drive. In my opinion, it gives the driver a genuine feel for the road and, therefore, more control. A large car, built for Australian conditions, like Commodore, just has to be rear-wheel drive.
G'day, Murph. What'll it be?
Just the usual, thanks.
Try Murph's Meat Lovers Burger from BK. Double beef, bacon, cheese, tasty pepperoni and barbecue sauce.
Now that's what I call a burger.
Burger King. It just tastes better.
A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer, and no one deserves it more than David Boone. Yes, he didn't get that rock-hard guts from playing hacky sack. He got it from smashing boundaries. No high fives or jumping round when Booney made a ton. Just a tweak of the box, and it's back to business. We want Booney for Prime Minister, or stuffed and put on display next to Farmer, with the word Booney engraved on the glass, and a big cold beer in his glove. And the best cold beer is Vic.
We're here in Melbourne to relive a classic footy moment that has it all.
And who else could give us all this?
Who else but the maestro? Hey, James Hurd.
Hey,
guys. All right, so it's Essendon 131, West Coast 131. 30 minutes and 48 seconds gone. In the
Umpire does the ball up and it's on.
He's got it.
Hey, maybe Murphy should have kicked out. Not the umpire, I'm bully. Bully gets it out the head. Wake, the fairy tale's complete. James Hard, you are a genius. Yes. Give it a hug. James Hard, yeah.
I told you before, I'm a control freak, so I'd never put myself in a situation I couldn't control. That's why I love the new VX Commodore, with anti-lock braking system, standard across the whole range. ABS helps prevent your brakes from locking, which gives you more steering control in dangerous situations. Commodore with ABS standard. Drive on.
Introducing a revolutionary new Toyota. A car with a V10 engine, a 7-speed gearbox, and a top speed of over 360 kilometres per hour. A car that comes with a champagne lifestyle and a supermodel girlfriend as standard. The new Toyota TF103. See it in action throughout 2003.
Well, welcome back. There's unfortunately still, what, 8-9 laps to go here. And Fremantle have somehow got themselves in front, but Philippu's got a free kick for something in the goal square and will kick another goal. Cop that, Freo, you dogs. And St Kilda retake the lead, 6-3-39, plays 6-1-37. Fremantle fans not happy. Philippu's got a shit-eating grin on his face. And all things happy. Bradley Hill is happy. Fremantle player is bewildered. And that is deliberate. I don't know how anybody could argue against that. He was under, not fully pressure, but clearly deliberately took it over for a rush behind from outside the goal square. How you could complain about that, I don't know. But as we know, Fremantle supporters have the combined IQ of 0.5 between an entire stadium full of them. So no surprise that their fans are bewildered, and it's no surprise that their players unhappy. And typically the umpire's just trying to give a little bit of square up there in the centre circle. But good mark there from young Charlie Banfield, young West Australian himself with his old man, formerly playing for West Coast. But we've got a battle here, raging for 4th place. Hicken Tony's been caught by Lachlan Locke and Curtis Egmanis. So this is the only battle going on circuit. At the moment, actually Steve Warwick has ended up ahead of Daniel Cox. So Cox is had a bit of a nightmare during the ad break. He looks like he's fallen back even more. The front's all decided. Looks like the young West Australian Kurt Stenberg is going to take class honours once again. It'll be second overall this time, barring some kind of issues. But the only major battle is here for fourth place. There's that double apex line there from Locke, sees him just drop away a little bit there in turn number 2. And yeah, we're hoping these guys just provide some action, possibly even cause a safety car, and we can have some late dramas here. There's predictably Tony right out sideways as St Kilda have the ball on the right side wing. And the Sue rules kicked in, kicked further forward. Big pack flies, falls to the ground, and looks like Fremantle will go backwards, but retain possession of the ball. Handball out to the pocket, and number 45, big tackle, and that will be a throw in. So great effort there from the St Kilda player, and the good setup from the St Kilda team to lock Fremantle in their forward 50, or the fringes of their forward 50. But Higantoni holding on to fourth place, just ahead of Locke and Egmanis. They're 11 seconds clear of Brenton Foley, running now second in class. And yeah, please forgive me for not offering too much commentary, because yeah, this is yeah, pretty boring. Not really enthralling stuff. These drivers aren't really having a crack. There's only 11 cars out on the circuit, and Angus Brown's a lap down. Oh look, and another free kick to Cox, just for being an American and for playing for a non-Victorian team. What a surprise. But Higantoni holding on here. Jack Silvani marks there. I'm surprised they didn't give a free kick against St Kilda for something. Philippu's got another disposal here, so this looks like he's having a very good quarter here. Young Matthias Philippu from Adelaide, South Australia, supposedly on $1 million a season. You see the South Australian clubs wanting to poach his services. Why you'd want to go to Port Adelaide, I'd never know, and in their current state. And well, Adelaide, well, they don't look like they're any closer to St Kilda at this point in time. And Matthew Nix is definitely on sack watch. Let's kick forward again. Max Hall, another one, mid-season pickup, a couple of seasons ago. Handballed it out to Sinclair to kick the high up and under. And it's that's a tremendous mark from Mason Wood again. Played the VFL last week, back into the AFL side, and that is a great mark. I have to say, it wasn't a particularly encouraging kick from Jack Sinclair. Just launched it deep into 50, and Mason Wood, he's clunked it. What a grab. Held on to it. It's by high pressure contact. And he should kick the goal. Should, but as we all know in the AFL these days, easy ones they generally miss, but he's put it straight through. There's St Kilda extend the lead once again. 45 plays 37, and Mason Wood with 2 goals. Certainly more entertaining than this race right now. As Higantoni runs a little bit wide there, a little bit. He's run very wide there, and we're going to go side by side here into turn number 4. McManus is trying to get involved as well behind the 2. And Higantoni holds on for now, bouncing his way over the curves at turn, turn 5, and getting that better run. And so, McManus looks the rears and almost ploughed into the back of the car in front there. In real life, that would be a pretty major flat spot, but you'd have a little bit of a flat spot, but because it's a video game, it wouldn't be too significant, one would imagine. Oh dear, and Tom DeConing ran hard at it. Another St Kilda player come the same point from the opposite direction, and they sort of just both pulled out of it at the last second because they didn't want to hurt each other, and Rio have got an inside 50 there. As Higgintoney runs a little bit wide on the exit to turn 2. So a bit of confusion. But the battle for 4th place heating up. Oh, and Fremantle had a shot at goal there, and looks like he's missed everything there. Oh, he's missed everything badly. He didn't miss it on the far side of the goal, he's missed it the near side. That's a pretty horrendous miss from number 39 from the Fremantle Dockers. I don't know if you could do mid-game to listings, but that snap effort probably deserved it, to be honest. It's at half-time. Longmuir should sorry, mate. Put your trackies on. Well, put your civvies on, mate. Take all affiliated Fremantle Doctors clothing off and hand in your key pass, because you're done. And there we go. Predictably easy mark for number 35 from the Dockers, as both 237 and 00 lock up there. They're going side by side. Exit of turn 3, and 237 ends up ahead. Oh, and Higginson's tried a late breaking manoeuvre, and he's trying to end up in the lake, and I think that might kill his chance for 4th there, because he's now behind Egmanis. And would you believe it, the Dockers plate missed it. Josh Tracy missed it. And what's happened there? So Egmanis has somehow ended... Oh, he ran wide himself, so that's how that happened. I wasn't paying attention, I was looking at the football. But Higgintoney's actually not too far away, so he might still be able to steal 4th place. It'd be a big effort from here. But we're on the white flag, thankfully. This race has gone on for far too long. And again, we're still hoping for a wreck. I wouldn't mind. It'd be pretty cool if you had a green-white checker. We were meant to have one, I think, last round or the round before, but people at the series organisers forgot to mention that to the stewards, and forgot to update the mod accordingly. The lock hasn't quite broken away from Higgintoney here. Oh, he can't afford a mistake. He was 4:10 slower on that last lap than Higgintoney. And Sam Flanders with a nice and important mark there in defensive 50. There's a car that's finished and won the race. And young West Australian Kurt Stenberg once again continues his impressive run. He'll finish 2nd overall and 1st in Class 2. And once again, McManus has got himself ahead of Higgintoney, but made another mistake. No, 3rd place will be, I think that's Tara there. Oh, and that should have been a free kick for Kalamilki there for chopped arms, but we only pay that for the team in purple and white. And Michael finished 4th place ahead of Higgintoney, who'll finish ahead of Egmanis. Oh, look, and Fremantle, of course, got a goal out of that because, you know, why the fuck would we only apply the rules to both teams? We'd just, of course, just do it to one. And the collective 0.5 IQ of the Fremantle supporters have a cheer on the ball going through the 2 big sticks. But Brent Foley will finish 2nd in Class 2. ahead of Steve Warwick and Daniel Cox, who fell away as the race went on. Then we have Lochnan and Brown, the final of the finishers. And thank fuck that this race is over, because it was boring as shit outside of one or two bits here and there. Thankfully with that, we're going to a fucking ad break. We got to make some cash.
Important pit stop for Scaife now, pulling into refuel. Oh, but watch this! Ambrose has blocked him on the inside. Scaife now left with no option but to let him pass.
To be number one these days, you have to go to the extreme. KFC's Extreme Zinger Meal. Start with a whole fillet zinger burger, then top it with a piece of chicken, chips, potato and gravy, and a Pepsi.
That's the last time I let you in, mate.
KFC's Extreme Zinger Meal.
We're here to see whether the new sporty Falcon SR will go as fast as the Falcon V8 supercar. With over $6,000 of extra value, including 17-inch alloys, automatic transmission with sequential sports shift, sports body kit, 6-stack CD, designer sports trim, leather-wrapped steering wheel, and cruise control, it's sure to do well. New Falcon SR, with over $6,000 of extra value, it'll go quick. Can't get enough of this.
When Ford versus Holden, Mount Panorama erupts with the FAI 1000 at Bathurst, November 11 to 14. Nothing shakes the mountain like V8 supercars. Phone Ticketmaster today.
It's a big ad, very big ad. It's a big ad we're in. It's a big ad. My God, it's big. Can't believe how big it is. It's a big ad. For cows and calves. It's just so freaking good. It's a big ad. Expensive ad. This ad better sell some money.
I'm a control freak. That's why I drive a Commodore. One of the reasons for the control I get in this Commodore, you can get in every Commodore. It's rear-wheel drive. In my opinion, it gives the driver a genuine feel for the road and, therefore, more control. A large car, built for Australian conditions, like Commodore, just has to be rear-wheel drive.
G'day, Murph. What'll it be?
Just the usual, thanks.
Try Murph's Meat Lovers Burger from BK. Double beef, bacon, cheese, tasty pepperoni, and barbecue sauce.
Now that's what I call a burger.
Burger King. It just tastes better.
A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer, and no one deserves it more than David Boone. Yes, he didn't get that rock-hard guts from playing hacky sack. He got it from smashing boundaries. No high fives or jumping round when Booney made a ton. Just a tweak of the box, and it's back to business. We want Booney for Prime Minister, or stuffed and put on display next to Farlap, with the word Booney engraved on the glass, and a big cold beer in his glove. And the best cold beer is Vic.
We're here in Melbourne to relive a classic footy moment that has it all.
Now, who else could give us all this?
Who else but the maestro? Hey, James Hurd.
Hey,
guys. All right, so it's Essendon 131, West Coast 131. 30 minutes and 48 seconds gone. In the
Umpire doesn't ball up and it's on. He's got it. Hey, maybe Murphy, umpire. Not the umpire, I'm bully. Bully gets it out the head. Wake, the fairy tale's complete. James Hurd, you are a genius. Yes. Give it a hug. James Hurd, yeah.
I told you before, I'm a control freak, so I'd never put myself in a situation I couldn't control. That's why I love the new VX Commodore with anti-lock braking system, standard across the whole range. ABS helps prevent your brakes from locking, which gives you more steering control in dangerous situations. Commodore with ABS standard. Drive on.
Introducing a revolutionary new Toyota. A car with a V10 engine, a 7-speed gearbox, and a top speed of over 360 kilometres per hour. A car that comes with a champagne lifestyle and a supermodel girlfriend as standard. The new Toyota TF103. See it in action throughout 2003.
We're back. I'll be honest, I don't really want to be back. I'd much rather be playing NBA 2K26 or driving 2005 Formula 1 cars in practice, but here I am torturing myself in what is going to be an extremely dull 20-lap race here. That is, I'd have to say, 20 laps too long after witnessing one of the dullest races of all time. I don't care that there was a battle for fourth place. Completely irrelevant. Questions in the chat regarding Phil, Boak and Angus coming back. Given how Phil retired, I doubt that. And given how the race went, I doubt Brown will come back either. Just looking at something from the Essendon Richmond game. They've got actually 3 players out injured. No, 4 players out. With I think only one fit player on the bench. But yeah. We now wait for, I don't know if there's a qualifying session or if it's progressive grid. Kind of hope it's reverse grid and there's a big wreck. But knowing how tonight's going, that is unlikely. And also seeing in various places that someone would rather see me or listen to me commentating on Anthony Albanese painting the Bass Strait over race 2. Well, it would be interesting. It would probably just be me yelling abuse at Anthony Albanese about his horrific policies that have completely destroyed this nation. Not to say that the Liberals wouldn't have done the same thing, as they are one united uniparty, and they're all there for their own personal benefit and to completely screw over the Australian public for hashtag globalisation. But for those wondering what the score is in the football, it is 45 plays 44, St Kilda. And yes, I'm not going to call them Euro-Euroke, it is St Kilda lead. Lenny Hayes is intensely standing there in the rooms at halftime. He is fired up. He wants to get out there. Lenny Hayes. He is just in his own world. He wants to get out there. Does Lenny Hayes. Number of drivers had the pit exit now, and Philip Oak has actually rejoined the server. I'm actually surprised. So we do have 13 drivers in the server at this current point in time. I wouldn't imagine that Zachariah Brown will return at any point. And he's presumed dead at this current point in time. Unfortunately, the Melbourne Storm, after their lead, down, and looks like they have lost or about to lose to the Bulldogs 24-20, unless something drastic happens in the final 2 minutes and 50 seconds. And in fact, the Bulldogs look like they may put another score on the board here, as they are deep in Storm's half, and in fact they have just scored a try to ice the game. So yeah, they're gonna go nuts over a Melbourne side that's completely finished. And start of the fourth quarter between Richmond and Essendon sees Richmond leading 58-46. 8 goals 10 plays 6 goals 10. So predictably shit football between two shit football sides. Or actually no, there's one shit football side and one very injured and also very young and inexperienced football side out there. I'll let you decide which is which. But yeah, we 3 minutes to go in this warm-up session. I guess I could show a car out on the circuit. That would probably be slightly entertaining, as opposed to just looking at the screen and listen to me talk. So here we are. Here's Coxie in his Class 2 Chevrolet ZL1 Camaro, number 94, of course, with his own sponsorship, the privateer entry, the Daniel Cox design. He may also be a part of the CUM, the CUM, the Chevrolet United Motorsport umbrella. As Brenton Foley leaves the pit lane. Yeah. There's some cars out on circuit. The play from Richmond has a shot for goal and kicks it across the face for another behind in this terrible game of football being played at the MCG in front of 70,000 seagulls and approximately the same amount of spectators. Of which I don't think there's one person that's probably entertained. Oh, a bit of an expression session there from Phil Boak there at turn 2. Made some aggressive setup changes to the rear end, I imagine. And clearly the rear left doesn't like it. The lap time seems encouraging enough. A 10th ahead of Scott Morrill at Sector 1, despite all that. We'll see what Brenton Foley does, and he's half 10th down. So not a bad first sector from Philip Boak there. And he's up by half a tenth in the middle sector as well. As we get another fucking promo of 433 Scott Pendlebury. Pretty funny. You break the game's record over Boomer Harvey, you're not half the player. Jeez, that's going to fire up some Collingwood supporters, I'll tell you what. I'm sure they'll list off all these premierships and Anzac medals and such. But I don't remember old Boomer getting this kind of treatment within the media or the AFL. And of course, Pendlebury, playing for the Collingwood Magpies, receives all kinds of special treatment, where unfortunately for poor old Boomer, he got shafted and sent out the door by fucking horrific list management decisions. And even then, the call made by list management should have been overwritten by those higher up at the club, who should have put it to Brent, you can play at this club as long as you want. But instead, they pushed him out the door. He'd go on to play another 6 or 7 years, I think, or at least 4 or 5, at the suburban level, playing with his brother, and he was dominating at that level. And he's said himself that he still felt he had a good at least 2 years left in him, and he's playing his final season certainly demonstrated that he was good enough to continue playing for another 2 seasons. Well, time has expired here. Brenton Foley is position number 1 at 109.5, so it's not bad in the warm-up, but the outright pace needs to be in the 1 minute 8s, unfortunately. And all that battling with that car. End up getting frustrated and just parking it. Got a message from yes, I forgot my auntie and uncle had flown over to Perth as Philip Boak in frustration has just decided to end that car and chassis life. Yes, and you can hear barbecue noises coming from the Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. Yes, I forgot my auntie and uncle had taken the flight to go over to Perth to watch the kill the Saints against the Fremantle Dockers. After just getting message then and told that putting up a good fight, which they certainly are. So hopefully they can keep it up and possibly steal a win. And indeed, we've ticked over to the race session. So bear with me one moment. I'm just getting some things in preparation here. Actually, forgot to go to the toilet between races here, and I might have to have an ad break at some point during the race. But all drivers forming up onto the grid. No BBR cars for this one. Time for the grid. One moment, please. Let me just start that again. Alright, so we have Kurt Stenberg starting from position 1 in Class 2. Then we've got a few cars before we have Nathan Higantoni starting from position number 5 overall. Then we have Brenton Foley starting second in the Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 Invitational class, aka Class 2. But position 7 overall ahead of young Stephen Warwick for SAW Racing by PBF number 63, sponsored by Ampol, Penrite, Ryco, Arnott's and Ansett. Daniel Cox will be looking to improve in race number 2. He starts position number 9 overall and 4th in Class 2. We then have a number of other cars before we get to Philip Oak. He'll be starting from position number 13 overall and I believe 5th in class. PBF at Race Engineering, sponsored by Red Bull, Ampol, Penrite, 888, Fanatec, Gear Wrench, Super Cheap Auto, Headspace, Cons Pit, and much more, as well as NGK. And Nathan Higgintoney not being able to form up onto the grid, what a surprise. So he Locke couldn't get it onto the grid either. But we're not far away here. And starting race number 2. 25 laps, why couldn't it be 20 or 15, 5 or 0? And Stenberg, the young West Australian with a hole shot. Fantastic start. Looks like Higgintoney also looking to make a move. And it's all on here between some of these other cars, these Mustangs here. But unfortunately, the top 3 look like they're all going to stay the top 3 here. So let's hope one of these... Oh, there goes round Lock. So he's off, and is he going to collect the wall? No, he's not, because we're at Queensland Raceway, they're all 700 kilometres away. So, well, that's his race done and dusted. He's best he can hope for is probably 7th or 8th now. But, yeah, we've got some other racing sort of happening here. Higgintoney in 4th behind Tara. With Stenberg once again leading the way in what is almost a mirror of the first race. Of course, there's no compulsory pit stop in this one. And but the third quarter's gotten underway, and oh look, number 39 for Freo's got himself the ball. That definitely was not 15 metres, but you know, welcome to the AFL. It's play on one week and it's a mark the next. Yeah, they don't know what 15 metres is. They don't even know what 5 metres is. They don't know what 25 metres is. And of course, he's kicked the goal. So Stenberg defensive here in turn number 3. A little bit leaning on each other here between the two combatants here. Stenberg can hold on the inside. He leaves a little bit of space, a little bit of a wiggle, but he maintains the lead. Higgintoney coming under a little bit of attack from Marnies. And looking a little bit further astray, we've got Brenton Foley in position number 6, second in Class 2, right out sideways, ahead of Stephen Warwick, third in Class 2, of course. And yep, that kick definitely was not 15 metres, but, you know, welcome to the AFL. There's a surprise, a bit of biff. There's a bit of biff. And one of the Freo players is down. Callum Wilkie and Patrick Voss having a punch on. There's a kick over Philippu's head here. Handball forward. Philippu's picked it up. He's been tackled. Is it a free kick? No. I've got it muted, of course. I can't hear for any whistles here. And the ball's gone out of play in the pocket for St Kilda. So Jack Silvani, Patrick Voss, and Callum Wilkie, as well as one unidentified Fremantle player, all getting into a little bit of a bust up there. There's a battle for the lead here. But there's more interest, I'll be honest, in the football. And Josh Tracy takes the mark just outside St Kilda. Forward 50, and he goes backwards. Bit of a wayward kick. Almost bounced through for a conceded behind there, and Chrome Dome number 36 for Fremantle picks the ball up. And he's going to kick it down the line. And should have been an easy mark on number 13. And Caminiti comes in with a tackle. And it'll be a ball up. But Stenberg holding firm at the moment. Then he's going to have a look up the inside at turn 3. He's got a car there, but he doesn't want to take it. It is a little bit bumpy on the inside of turn 3 here. Well, Maxwell's got it 60 metres out. A little bit of a sizzler, but Chrome Dome takes the mark for Fremantle. But Stenberg leading the way. Front 3 now starting to group up together. And it's battle joined between Higginson Sorry, Higantoni and Egmanis. Egmanis right out sideways. As is Foley in behind as well. As we ride on board the Ginger Ninja, Brenton Foley, BBF Race Engineering, number 74. Darcy Wilson, he kicks it forward, bounces awkwardly for Chrome Dome. It's picked up by Caminiti. It's handballed out. It's coming out to Bradley Hill. Bradley Hill around the body, bounces through for a goal. And the Saints are back in front. Get up. As we cut back to the battle for the lead, still 20 laps to go. It would take some kind of heroic last stand, I would imagine, for Stenberg in the ZL1 to produce a race win here, but you never know. But what a goal. Great effort from the Saints in midfield to get that ball out. Coming in, get the hands out to Wood, and then out to Hill for the finish. Oh, and Higantoni right outside ways next to the final turn, encouraging signs for Egmanis. Looks like Hall was tripped there, but no, we won't play the free kick because it's St Kilda. But Egmanis is he's got the run here, and Higantoni not really defending too hard there. Trusts his brakes. Egmanis up the inside. Higantoni going to look for the switch back, and Egmanis almost going around there. And for once, Higantoni just didn't dive through him. If that was me, or if that was Brendan Ross, if that was Lachlan Burke, if that was Zach Brown, 100% would have been hit and turned. But it's somebody else, so it didn't happen. And predictably, a couple corners later, he's cooked the rears when he's had a half spin there. Looks like someone else went for a bit of an adventure here. Steve Warwick and Morell were battling here. Oh, that is poor. That is poor. What has happened here? What has happened here? Let me have a look at that. Oh, Lochnan causing another incident. I'm sure he'll go and blame something other than himself again. But that was poor driving. As the Saints struggled to clear out of D50. Oh, nice little shimmy and move, but a poor handball there. I'm not sure who that player was. Was trying to target Wilson with a handball, completely missed it. And Freo are probably going to end up with a goal here. And they will. Yep. So that should have been a clearance, but yeah, great work, whoever that was with the handball. That was a pretty poor handball. So, oh, what's this? Stenberg's down in P6. What's happened here? Looks like he's had a moment somewhere. As I was entertaining myself watching the football. Oh dear. So he's got the budget KFC cast has driven straight into the back of him at turn 1. Hit him again, and he doesn't even bother to redress it. So, you know, that's just typical racing from a certain crew. Because you know that they wouldn't do that for... They wouldn't just drive off if it was another team or driver, but it is what it is, I guess. Did see some smoke in the background, and I did. It's Lochnan has gone around again. Now, is this due to contact, or... Might have been a light graze there, but the spin itself was overheated rears there. Well, it's a mark from Sharman. That should technically be 50 metres. But Again, why would we give that? That's St Kilda. As the 0.5 IQ Fremantle Doctor fans hurl abuse at the umpires and St Kilda players for the game being actually properly adjudicated for once. Stenberg recovering now back to 4th place, but his battle and race for the lead effectively over after being punted off like that. And Cooper Sharman from 50 metres out. Started from the right. Stayed to the right. So Stenberg 7.5 seconds away for the lead. Now, best hope is that these two cars up in front run into each other, much like the incident that took place just a couple of laps ago. Oh, and look, the Chrome Dome's going to get a free kick for something, is he? He is, even though the ball was clearly spoiled and not a chop. Anyway, hashtag free kick Freo. So 1:08.6 for Stenberg on that last lap. 7.1 seconds away, so he still needs the front two to continue to battle here. Very early defensive manoeuvres that being pulled here. You know, side by side here into turn 3. And the 26 car holding on for now. And yeah, still sort of half battling here. Stenberg making up a bit of time, 0.6 of a second in that middle sector on that lap, so 9.192 for the front two. 9.2 for Igmanis and 8.7 for Stenberg. So Stenberg using more of his tyre at the moment, trying to make up time. Bear with me here, I'm just sort of keeping an eye on the football. There's a rush kick forward on the wing is marked by a Fremantle player. Kicks it to forward 50. It's a bit of a scramble as Mason Cox was tackled. And the ball's going to be balled up on the right side of the Fremantle attacking 50. And Stenberg 6.1 seconds off the lead as the front two continue to exchange blows. And I do wonder if Devonish will also punt Tara off the road here at turn 1. Oh, well, much like Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc in 2021 at Cops, he's able to give space to Tara. That knocks away his rival. Oh, it's Fremantle celebrate a goal for something that looks like all the St Kilda players are remonstrating with the umpires about. And well, it looks like this battle's voluntarily over. So Stenberg got the gap down to 5.6, but that's going to... Another questionable call by the umpires there. St Kilda players not happy. But of course we're in hashtag Wharfie time. So, you know, any excuse will do. Stenberg going all out here. Matching Joe Tanto in from Driven. I'm sure he's humming. He's humming to himself. Going all out here to try and make up the deficit to the front two after being unfairly punted off. Fremantle player trying to get into young Charlie Banfield there. The second gamer just for a legitimate tackle, showing just how weak-minded and soft Fremantle. There's another 8-5 for Stenberg, pushing hard out there, but needs these front two to be battling, as it looks like St Kilda can't quite clear the centre and centre wing. And stranglehold that Fremantle are building up in this game, starting to tire out the young St Kilda side. It looks like the battle for the lead. Well, it's sort of hanging around, but it's just teasing us at the moment. So, Britton Foley and Nathan Higgintoney battling it out here for position 5. Britton Foley, of course, second in class. A bit of a mistake actually from Higgintoney on that last lap, which is why that gap got closed up. So we go to a replay. A bit of a pirouette on the exit of turn number 3 there. So Fremantle finally filling out Optus Stadium after leaving it half full since its inception. So they're just jumping on a bandwagon. But I'm sure if they fail to reach the goals that this squad should reach, I'm sure we'll see suburban football clubs pulling a bigger crowd once again. It's a good tackle from a St Kilda player there. Hacked forward by Philippou into the forward 50. And it bounces around, but it's going to be cleared by the Dockers far too easily. And Caminiti has been moved back, able to take the mark on centre wing. So Brenton Foley, a couple of tenths faster than Higgintoney on that last lap. So we do have Stenberg has caught one of the cars here as Liam Henry's on the ball. On the right forward 50, handballs it out to Marshall, back to Henry. The scruffy little hand pass, and he gets a little chip kick away, and that's just going to come to Frederick, and Freo once again are going to rebound from outside of their defensive 50. So Stenberg able to get by one of the cars, but it's closing in on Tara in front, but too far behind the other car that punted him off earlier on in the race. Be able to catch him barring some kind of mistake. This has got Philip Oak in this one, suffered a retirement in race number 1. He's sitting in 8th place at the moment behind Coxey. And they're of course battling for 3rd in class 2. And how that I am looking at the replay of that, and I have no idea why that wasn't a trip. It probably was called a trip. I've got it muted, of course, and it was then Bradley Hill played on. But that should be. It used to be a 1-week suspension for a trip like that, but I imagine that'll just be a fine because the AFL's fucking soft. But Phil Boak not far away. It sounds like someone's gone a bit... Oh, Higgin Tony's gone around here. So, coming under just a minor amount of pressure from Bretton Foley behind. And Higgins was cracked under braking. And gone for an adventure down there. So he's now down to position 6 overall. 8-8 for Stenberg. Closing in on Tara. Don't think he'll have enough laps. Hugo Garcia handballs it out to McRae, out to Philippou, kicks it into forward 50 to that man, Mason Wood, who will kick from about 50 metres directly out in front, maybe 51 metres. So, good little build-up for St Kilda there. In a relatively even game, although in this third quarter here, Fremantle have looked the stronger of the two sides. But St Kilda doing just enough to stay in the game. You will need to kick this, you feel. Big kick from 50 metres out, starts at left and doesn't quite bend back, so that'll be behind. 8-5-53 plays 10-3-63 with the Fremantle free kicks in the lead. Oh, Noatara picking up a track cut on that last lap, a 1-8-8 for Stenberg, the young West Australian sponsored by Kingsley's Chicken. So I imagine he should catch the back of Noatara. But should there be any post-race penalties, could see him take the win. So it could be a net win here, as Bradley Hill takes the mark 80 metres out on the left side wing, deep into forward 50, and it's knocked down. St Kilda players getting in each other's way there. A miscommunication. But 1.3 seconds away is young Kirstenberg from second place, possibly a post-race win afterwards. As the ball will be thrown up St Kilda's left forward pocket. Picked up by Philippou, handballs it out to Hall. Henry just slams it onto the boot and goes back about 40 metres. Should have been front on contact. Oh, big bump from the Saints player. Banfield kicks it forward. It's going to bounce through. Fremantle player can't pick it up, but they're going to eventually pick it up. It's going to get handballed out to the left, the right pocket, but it's smothered. Great effort from Philippou. And eventually Fremantle will clear it down their left side. And it's marked by Tracy on the wing. So if he could just fuck off to the bench and just park himself there for the rest of the game, that'll be fantastic. As Stenberg closes in on the back of Noatara here. 0.7 of a second. Mason Cox just pushes the Saints player out of the way. Head-eye contact again for a bump on the Saints player. Just play on, no worries. Front on contact again on Bradley Hill, but he takes the mark. And there's a shocking kick there from Mason Wood from the trying to clear it out of the back pocket down the wing. That's Stenberg now. Will be getting a tow from the car in front. Did have a bit of an issue coming onto that back straight. And Cox straight through the back of a St Kilda player there. No free kick. Play on. And oh, bit of ropey dope action here. St Kilda cleared on the right side wing. That's probably going to go out for a lasso. And it does. So we'll cut to a replay of that. So Stenberg made contact with the back of Tara and got out of the throttle instead of just keeping it pinned that time. And now all over the back again. Oh, and that's a good mark in defensive 50 from Charlie Banfield, who's looking much more confident here in his second game here, it must be said. His third quarter, positive signs from the young West Australian. Speaking of young West Australian, Kirstenberg right behind Tara here. One feels it's only a matter of time before he's able to get a move done and get himself into second, which could potentially turn into first place here. So, looking at the gaps, there is a battle for 7th place between Cox, Locke and Boak. But we'll just stick with this battle. A little bit of a fake out there from Stenberg, looking to force defensive manoeuvre from Tara, which he did manage to produce. Ball, nice little spin move to get out of it. Handballs, or picks up his own handball. Let's then kick forward. Mason Wood dropped the mark, probably had his hand chops, but no worries. Man bun from Freo kicks it forward. And Jackson finally does something in this game, doing a terrible job for my Supercoach team so far. As Stenberg sends it up the inside the final turn, a little bit of contact, but I feel he's up far enough as that other fucking idiot Tracy takes a mark in the right forward pocket for the Fremantle Dockers. And Stenberg up into second position with a couple laps to go. Let's go back to what was the battle for 7th, and well, Locke's cleared it now, and now it's just a battle for 8th place. Tell you what though, with a couple laps to go, it'd been an inconvenient time to go for an ad break. And it's just Tracy misses to the left of the goal. Well, that's a nice kick out to Maxi Hall. He's played on straight away. It's kicked forward by McRae, who takes the mark. It's Sharman, who plays on quickly. There's a player in the goal square. It's Liam Henry, another cheapie out the back. He kicks it into the third tier, gives the Saints fans a high five, and the Saints are back on the scoreboard here in the third quarter. Back to a 5-point ball game. A great build-up from Marshall to Banfield. Nice little chip out to Hall. Handball out to, I think it's Carroll, number 13. Marked by Sharman. Saw Liam Henry all out on his own in the goal square. Kicked it to him. He played on and straight up into the top deck. He's probably hit Stenny's house from where he's kicked it. Just bang. Just barreled it. We do have lap and a half to go, and Foley's in P5. I don't know if that should have been the case or if something's happened there. Of course, I've not been paying attention. I've been watching the football. The Saints going forward 50 again. That was a push out in the back from Chrome Dome, but of course it's he plays for Fremantle. It's no free kick. We got the white flag, and Higgintoney's gone for another adventure down there. Oh, look, and it's actually called holding the ball, even though the player got out as Higgintoney went for an adventure there. So, funny that. They'll go and... Oh, and they've given 50 as well. They've given 50 as well. Yep, typical fucking umpires here. There's a free kick Freo. I don't want to hear anybody from Fremantle or a supporter from Fremantle say that they were hard done by if they lose this game. And they've gone and hit the post. That Kurt Stenberg, heroic job to get himself back up to P2 after being punted off at turn 1. Not once, but twice in the same little incident. One caused a slow half spin and then got finished off shortly after. So he'll come home second, of course, overall. First in class, but that may change with a potential penalty. And then looks like Brenton Foley will finish second in class as Darcy Wilson takes a bounce on the right wing. 2 bounces, kicking at 50. And Henry's easily pushed out and Chrome Dome takes the fucking mark. And Foley will come home second in Class 2, 5th overall. Good effort from him. Good points for him and the team. And then Daniel Cox, he'll be 3rd for Class 2. And a good recovery after some struggles in race number 1. And Phil Boak, 4th in class, as Higantoni, in frustration, decides to just end the Engie Pause 00 and finish the job. I mean, he should have just done that in the race because the safety car would have made the race interesting. And then we had Steve Warwick there, the SAW Saw Racing by PBF there, 11th overall, ahead of Cameron Rutledge with Aaron Loughlin, one of the few DNFs. Well, with that over and done with, I'm out of here as soon as possible because, let's be honest, what absolute boring ass racing we've had for the majority of tonight. Small field, only had 1 or 2 battles for really nothing of significance with those, and then we were going to have a decent race. The leader got punted out by the car in second. So pretty lame. Predictably, Cum getting screwed over, just like St Kilda are in the Freo game. So yeah, don't know when the next race is. Don't really care, but a stream will be up regardless. Yeah, have a good one.